Hello, everybody. Now, I'm not sure if this is working, and I know I'm late. It's because of the clocks changing, and on LinkedIn, it didn't allow me to restart the other one. So I'm hoping that people have joined. Otherwise, I'm going to be talking to myself again for another 30 odd minutes. So if you are there, please do say hello. It might be that it hasn't come up. So I'm hoping that people are there. Otherwise, we will go again at 11 because LinkedIn hasn't quite picked it up. So is there anybody out there? If not, we're going at 11. Let me have a look on events. So is this live? It hasn't started. It has started. Yes, hooray. Michael, good. Hello. Simon, how you doing, mate? Stephen's here, brilliant. And Reese, hello, everybody. I'm glad you've made it because this is a special show. I'm going to be inviting in some of my work experience stars. So I'm glad you could. Oh, look at this. Neris, thank you very much. It's 5 a.m. I'm at EC in Florida and the jet lag is real. So thank you very much, Simon. Thanks for confirming that. It was a bit hectic this morning because it's gone a bit funny with the with the clocks changing. And here's me trying to tell my work experience superstars that I know what I'm doing. So we may have some reduced numbers today because of this mix-up, but that doesn't mean to say that you're not in for a treat because you really are. I'm very pleased to. Oh, look, Danny's here. Phew. The show is saved because Danny is. Oh, look, Slam Duggan's in the house as well. Phil and Brooke as well. Brooke's in the house. Brilliant. It's great to see you all. I had a nervous moment then that I thought I was going to revisit a traumatic experience of talking to myself. But without further ado, for those of you that saw my post yesterday, for the first time, Get Out of Rap has. Oh, Scott's here as well. Brilliant. Get Out of Rap has some. Oh, look, Bev's here. Thought it was me. No. And Craig's here as well. You'll get to ask your question in a minute, Craig. Phil's here. Now it is a party. Well, Danny, you thought it was a party. Wait till I invite in these superstars. Are you ready? Here they are. Look, it's the work experience stars. So, Melly, Immy, and Mildog. Hello.
Hi.
So, everybody, we have three amazing 16-year-olds who've already been helping yesterday. They, as you can tell, they're buzzing about being on this show. So, our first question is, what would you like to ask the Gal Work Experience stars? Now, before I said stars, they were going to be slaves. Oh, look, Laura's here. Morning, Laura.
Morning.
And Marianne as well. Good morning, Marianne. So, everybody, so there they are. Do you want to introduce yourself, girls?
What did you say? What did you say?
Do you want to say hello?
Hi.
Hi, Phoebe. Has it just... Okay, first question, girls. What did you have for tea last night?
I can't remember. Pasta and garlic bread.
Pasta, garlic bread. Mildog?
Bananas. You had pasta.
You had what?
Pasta.
There you go, Craig. Craig thinks that's a good way to start any sort of meeting. Marianne, look, welcome the work experience stars.
Craig, what did you have for breakfast?
Well, yeah, what did you have for breakfast, Craig?
Really show them what you had for breakfast. Banana.
What would you like to ask 3 16-year-olds?
I'm 17, Mark.
Mark, Millie's 17.
17, Mill Dog. Oh, yeah. So Millie is actually driving and out on the roads.
No, she's not.
Be aware.
Well, for your lessons, you are. So we started yesterday. I went through what my business plan was, and what is my business plan?
So you have Martin Teasdale Limited,
Yeah,
and then you have Get Out of Rap and
Team Leader Community.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's it.
Just trying to
And
grow.
these guys are going to help me take over the world. Oh, here we go. Look, Craig had Weetabix.
Weetabix.
You spelt it wrong, Craig.
No, he didn't.
There's no H in Weetabix. Maybe there is in Bristol.
Is there not a H?
Now, let me
Mark,
show
I think
you.
there is a H in Weetabix.
Is there?
I don't know actually.
Hey,
Maybe
Siri,
everyone
spell
else
Weetabix.
can answer. Okay, so
It hasn't got a H in.
Oh no, Mark, you are right.
thank you. I know my cereals. Let's start with the very first thing that we did as a team. Here we go. Are you ready? Drum roll.
But it's over, then you're driving me home, and it kinda comes out as I get up to go. You kiss me in your car, and it feels like the start of a movie I've seen before. But it's not real, and you don't exist, and I can't recall the last time I was kissed.
So when people ask what you did on work experience, the teachers are going to be really happy.
That was on
Here
a break.
we go. So Marianne had shortbread. That is a lovely breakfast. Here we go. First genuine question. Morning work experience stars. Genuinely interested to know what your thoughts are about careers in the contact center industry. Go.
Well, we didn't really know what it was at the start, did we? And then Mark explained it to us.
There's a lot of places you can go with it. It's just we didn't actually know where to start with it or what it was to begin with.
Yeah, even if you don't see it as a long-term career, if you start in a call centre, then you can like do different things from it.
Like it's
There
not
you
just
go.
about things.
Make your way up.
And here is another one. Please be genuine and don't worry, you won't offend anyone. What's your impression of contact centers?
In my honest opinion, I thought it sounds really boring.
Yeah.
It sounds it.
Just sit in front of a computer.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Answering calls all
Yeah.
day.
Hello, it's Millie speaking. What about that?
Is that how you answer the phone?
Yeah, I do like a Mr. Bean impression probably.
Go on then.
No.
Don't know.
Do you think though, do you think with the week that we're going to have, and we are going to go and see a contact center, that you might change? Are you open for your minds to be changed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They've
Like-
already changed a little bit. This is the kind of man Craig is. He admits when he's wrong. No hate, you're right. Don't get upset though, Craig, mate. It'll be all right. Simon's here as well.
It's an open
Oh.
space.
Hi, Simon.
Hi, Simon. Simon's a lovely guy. Craig, everyone here is lovely, by the way. They're all lovely, lovely people. And these are the kind of people that you could meet in the industry. But it's fair to say as well that you said no one really ever talks about call centers in your careers or
Calls or
anything.
anything.
Nope.
You didn't even really know that there was options for doing marketing and HR training, any of that stuff, did you?
No, because they don't speak about it at school, do they?
Okay, here we go. Do you follow any content creators from the contact center world? If so, what are their videos about?
The only person I follow is Mark.
Same.
Everyone follows your TikTok.
Yeah.
My TikToks are pretty good, aren't they?
I feel like
Yeah.
there's not very much awareness around it. Or like
No.
there's a lack of content creators surrounding.
There's not really that many.
Do you think you three could maybe start doing it and
Yeah.
become famous?
Yeah.
It's a niche market, so it's not that hard to get.
Look at
Famous.
Millie using her.
There you go. Spot on opportunity. Good morning, Nick. How you doing?
Morning.
Okay. Here's a question for you three. What would make working in the contact center industry appealing?
Oh.
A modern environment.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully, when we go and see one, you'll see they're actually really nice places to be in. There's loads of stuff going on in them. But what else? So, modern environment. How important is the pay?
Well, obviously you want good pay.
I'm fine with minimum wage, thanks.
But is it number one priority, or is it more about what you actually do?
What you actually do and
Yeah,
like being happy
and, like,
within your
enjoying
work
it.
environment.
And not finding it as boring as,
It looks.
yeah.
So, everybody that's watching, we do have a challenge in making sure, trying to find a way that it's not boring. So, sounds like a niche to be filled, Meal Dog. Danny's agreeing with you.
But on.
Did you know Stephen Bartlett said contact centers gave him his start in his career? Do you think that's a good recommendation?
I've never heard of him.
I don't know.
He's the young black CEO who has a podcast. He does Dragon's
Oh,
Den.
yeah. I have seen him.
So he started in contact centers, and he said it was a thing that gave him the biggest start in his career and taught him the most valuable skills. Would it help to hear more things like that, do you reckon?
Yeah.
Here's a really good point. It's normally a good laugh with colleagues. Genuinely is. I've told you
Yeah,
some
well, your
stories.
stories that you've been telling us, it does sound quite funny.
For you, is purpose more important than pay?
Yeah.
Mill Dog?
Depends. The pay's not good, I'm leaving.
Nice. Okay. So, ladies, superstars, you've been really helpful. It's been very, very interesting. I will keep on share any questions that come in later, but thank you so much for being on the show.
Mark!
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay, so it really interesting stuff there, and here we go. I'm interested in what Melly, Imi, and Mildog would like to do in the future. Okay, let me see if I can. Oh, they've gone. I will find out. So, Marianne, it's interesting. So yesterday, I think that has to be balanced with pay and purpose. There was a couple of takeaways yesterday from our first sort of chat. So we went to Costa, and I was just talking about my career, what I do now, and the industry. And genuinely, there's not an understanding of what our industry is about. And when described or when thought of in the media, that word kept coming through, that it was boring. So all three of the girls are doing media and also doing business studies at A level. And they are really interested in both those elements and want to be able to pursue a career in that, and also something in kind of customer service areas, right? And our industry being seen as a great place to do that is not the case. You know, it's seen as being like a battery hen just sat there being fed calls without getting any opportunity to move into other areas. And I think that is the biggest thing. So I don't know if you heard then, Melly was saying no one in their careers has even talked to them about it. They didn't know it was an option both now for part-time work. And I spoke about some of the flexibility that you could get. You could be working from hold on. Let me catch up with some of these. Jordan, I think there has to be balance with pay and purpose. Very true. Jordan Powell, true, but there is surely a tipping point. Being paid millions to make the world a worse place versus being paid enough to have a life whilst contributing to society. Yes, Danny, really true. And I think even at a less extreme level, if you're very unhappy in a role and someone said to you, I'll give you an extra 5k, it would be nice, but it surely doesn't make enough of a difference to bring you some happiness. Danny, media and business studies, and they don't know Stephen Bartlett. We must be old. It's very, very true. Some of the people that are doing the influencers, I mean, even I don't know if you know the comedy People Just Do Nothing. No, they started in a contact center. They started having a joke and a laugh together, and from whilst working in the contact center, wrote the first script that led to them doing the BBC series, which is really funny. And again, they just don't know. How many people really know what they want to do as teenagers? There's opportunity to market contact center as a career and influence folks as they form their goals and aims. And that, Nick, that's such a good point, because one of the things that already just yesterday and this morning so far has made me think, we all want to portray our industry more accurately, so we don't shy away from the warts, but we also talk about the good things that come in our industry. And I think a key part of that is speaking to educational centres, speaking to careers advisors, and helping them so that when they talk to people, they can say that it's a great industry to get into. Simon still doesn't know about Stephen Bartlett. A bunch of flowers doesn't make up for an abusive relationship. Just, Danny, awesome. Coming from telecoms, phone shop for E4 was genius and is wasted on people today as we move to shopping online. Yeah, the consumer habits are massively different. I have another question for you all, and it's an interesting one because yesterday was again one of the first times of being able to answer this question. How do you describe the contact center industry to people that are not working in it? So when you think about your friends and your family that are outside of our industry, or you're meeting new people, a social event, a sporting event, whatever it may be, and they ask you what industry you work in, how do you describe it? What do you say? How do you describe our industry? And again, please do keep the other comments coming. Like I say, I'm going to be really keen as the week goes on, and I will share with you all through LinkedIn the kind of before and after my brainwashing of the girls has finished, to see what their perceptions are, but also what we can do as an industry to help share the message, because we all know we have an attraction challenge at the moment, and if people are seeing it as the kind of last case, the last resort, how do we, when they're thinking about, what, I might do a summer job and I might do I might go into retail or McDonald's, how can we get them to think about the contact center industry as also a choice? Marianne, I've been with Kane for nearly 37 years and he still cannot explain what I do. Oh, that's so true. That is so true, Marianne, isn't it? Delighting being of service. Cameron, so true, isn't it, mate? And I think that's do you say that it's more customer service, that what you do is you service customers, and you don't say about how, it's more about the what and the why. Here we go. It's like heaven, except the clouds are on fire, the angels are on fire, everything's on fire, and the people that know how to deal with the fire aren't always in charge of the hoses. Yes, there's a common theme in some of these shows, isn't there? And hopefully in a small way they're helping, but often the operations, we can change that. Yes, we can. Like I was saying, Danny, hopefully in a small way, the more visibility we get as a group and as a little community, then hopefully the people that do know how to deal with the fire are involved in putting it out. Nick, here we go. The contact center helps customers achieve what they set out to do, even if the website didn't. Really good point, Nick. Yeah, brilliant. That is true. It is true. But don't we all enjoy it? We do enjoy putting out the fires, don't we? That's one of our Danny Wareham best comment by far. Maybe at the end of the year I can do a Gow TV awards, and up there for best comment, maybe the front runner right now is Danny's. Here we go. This is the one. Everything's on. We're in heaven, but everything's on fire. The people that know how to deal with it aren't in charge of the hoses. Look at that. Beth's here. I love Beth, part of the team leader community. Okay, so please do keep these coming. How do you describe what you do to people that are not in your industry, including your partner? Marianne, maybe we can help you crack that after 37 years. So, do you remember we're doing the Contact Babel? Maybe we can become the Avengers with hoses. Avengers Assemble. I love that. Yeah, why not? I mean, remember the time of day this is, everyone, because I think there's a very obvious joke there, but it might be a bit too early. We haven't gone past the watershed. I feel a Gow calendar coming. Yes. Yeah. Do you know what? One of the things I did think about was having something that had events and oh, wait a minute. Not like a fireman's calendar. Nobody wants to see that. We work on projects with master degree students, introducing them to the amazing tech that is available to support customers. Without these projects, they may never come across our industry. Engagement is so important. Laura, that's a really good point. And yesterday, I was sharing with the girls just how much our industry is at the forefront of tech. ChatGPT being introduced across our industry, AI, analytics, voice recognition, VR, everything. And you make a really, really, really good point that our engagement needs to be tailored to careers advisors and other people. Here we go. For me, part of the challenge is that we don't talk about the warts, and more importantly, how we might tackle them. Awards and press hold up CCs as amazing places to work, and they are, but amidst some of the realities of clunky processes, politics, and interactions. Yeah, really good point, Danny. Yesterday, I was at pains to paint the full picture with the girls around. You have all of these opportunities, but there are going to be times, quite often, if you're starting on the phones, where you're challenged, your resilience is challenged, your problem solving is challenged, your the ability to stay calm when customers are annoyed is going to be challenged. But these experiences are all learning experiences. But I certainly didn't shy away from it, because I think you need to give people an informed, so they can make an informed decision, right? Simon, I think the best way to answer that question is to take my 6-year-old daughter with you on your contact center visit and ask her to describe it. She simplifies things for me every day. I'm with your 6-year-old, Simon, on that. I think it's a great outlook to have. I'll often say to people, can you explain that to me like I am 6 or 7 or 8? And if we could do that about our industry, I think we'd do well. Also, just like to an important point there about the environment, Mildog asked about that kind of, it's got to be a modern environment. And I think the work that we've done in contact centers now has to have things that are there for their employees. And we didn't used to have that, did we? It just used to be get them in, get them working, happy days. Now, thinking about their environment and having areas where people can chill out and being sensitive to how we can engage people with their environment is really important. And that is a big step forward. But this has certainly been eye-opening already around how do we, because if we don't get this messaging right, we're not going to have people come into the industry, or we're going to have people come in as a last resort. and the first opportunity they get, they will get out. So how we've got to do this engagement better. Craig, here we go. The contact center fringe benefits are the best. You'll meet amazing people, always someone to chat to, support you, champion you, and there is never a dull moment. You will leave working on a contact center team a better human and have a newfound appreciation. Brilliant, that is, Craig. Brilliant. It's so true, isn't it? I think we're all here and we all look back positively, or every day we have an experience that makes us happy to be alive, and that comes from our industry, doesn't it? So love that, mate. Right, do you remember I was doing the read along? Please keep your comments coming in, but now let's dip into our read along. So we're up to about page 140. Oh, did my rap inspire them? Full shizzle. So the rap, we're going to be working on that, Neris, to put it to a bit of a video. The girls will be involved. They haven't heard it yet. They will be hearing it later on. And then everyone else here hopefully will be watching it on video. We're going to use a couple of apps I use for videos, and we're going to use your audio. I mean, now with your jet lag, maybe you could come on the show live and do the rap. For those of you that don't know, Neris has done a rap about contact centers, and it is brilliant. I will be showing it on a video next week, so book your seat early for next week. Full shizzle. Here we go. So we are on the Contact Babel read along. Please add in your comments. We were just finishing up on self-serve and the jump from self-serve to telephony. And you can see here why customers move from web self-service to live telephony. No surprise that by far the most popular reason reported back from the people that were completing the survey is that people left self-service to go into live telephony for complex issues requiring a live agent. That was closely followed by customer wanting the reassurance of talking to someone. And I think we've talked before, I'm going to guess, Danny, that kind of element of trust, and that we're still not fully trusting, especially dependent on the reason for the call, that the technology has done everything for us. So you can see there, by far and away, the two most popular reasons for people leaving web self-service to live telephony are that they're complex issues requiring a live agent, and also that the customer wanted the reassurance of talking to someone, followed by the information functionality required was not available on the website. Now, in the report, some of the narrative around this talked about the need to make sure that when that transition is being made, that we are not further exasperating any customer frustration by having to get them to try and repeat everything. If we can extract some of the data as to what they've been doing and reference that early, then that will make this transition easier. Let me just share with you, Marianne. Absolutely adore our industry. I've seen so many people develop from initially coming in as agents, moving through a number of different positions, and then moving into senior roles, and a number of them becoming CEOs. I spoke about that yesterday to the girls, actually. There's nothing better than seeing people progress that have come in. Craig's got to go. Thank you, Craig. Have a good week, everyone. Yeah, you too, mate. And I forgot to add on to the end, with all this happening, there was superb fun along the way. So true, isn't it? It's such an underrated, underappreciated environment when it's done well. The people make contact centers. So true. So true. So not a surprise with this first part. Now let's move on. The next section, just again, I'm a big fan of Contact Babel. I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't. but this section I found dull. But for those of you that are watching and you're maybe involved in cloud technology and looking at people taking on cloud technology versus legacy, I found some of this stuff actually quite interesting. I was being a bit facetious, but so legacy applications form a critical part of the agent desktop environment by contact center size. So you can see the average is, it's still well over, so 57% of contact centers are still using legacy applications as a critical part of the agent desktop environment. The narrative around this was that number is reducing, or at least it's thought that it's going to be reducing. But is this true where you are? Are you still using legacy kit when you know better kit is available and it's probably cloud-based? But again, quite interesting. And there was another bit here on legacy. Legacy applications are fully integrated with the other desktop applications. So again, I just want to bring in Cameron here. I have a wonderful mentor who articulated his key personal performance indicator with a number of people he's coached for a career progression achievement. Isn't that great? I love that, Cam. We've got too many legacy systems. So do we A, decommission and simplify the stack, or B, stick a GUI on the front and continue introducing more kit? Very, very true. This is my baby. Here we go. Yesterday here at Enterprise Connect, Amazon Connect did a test of advisor heart rate from their legacy tech to their new Amazon Connect tech, and the heart rates physically dropped. That stress is real. Wow, that's fascinating. That is fascinating. And Neris, you will be pleased to know what that is a lovely, lovely lead in to this. So how many applications does an agent use within a call? And I know, and I want to say it was either the forum or the CCMA who drew a correlation between the number of applications that an agent has to use, and there is a correlation between the higher the number, the higher your attrition is likely to be. But we can see here that the average, right, even in looking in a large contact center, in 20% of the respondents, they're using more than 5 just to do their job. More than 5 applications just to navigate around. Now, I had a few teething problems by bringing in the girls, getting LinkedIn to recognize that the clocks had changed, and I was just using 2 applications, and I found that a little bit stressful this morning. For an agent, especially the new agents coming in, and let's say you're in a large contact center, 38% of our large contact centers have 5 or more applications. I've seen 32, but 6 is average. So Danny is right. A GUI that's not as easy as it sounds is ideal. But if the back end is still ugly, then MI is tricky too. And it's all of these kind of other considerations, isn't it? But let's think, if you're a new agent and you're faced with having to learn and navigate, as Neris says, 6 applications just to do your job, there's an added layer of stress there straight away. And these stats kind of back it up that we have got work to do. Now let's have a look at the time on call. So the proportion of an inbound call spent navigating between screens and applications by contact center size. So you can see the red areas are where there's been more than 30%, nearly a third of the time of the inbound call is spent navigating different screens and applications. So that's not talking to the customer. That is doing all of these different things here. Hugo is not happy with those stats. The front end is only part of the problem. Spaghetti back-end systems will eventually have a tipping point on cost, maintenance, failure rate, MI. Really, really true. And if we have a look here, so if you're in a medium contact center, 40% of your inbound call from the respondents to the survey said that their agents are spending 40% of that time navigating between screens and applications. What a significant number that is. And if you think about the efficiencies gained, the improvement in customer experience, the improvement in employee experience, if these red percentages could be reduced, is massive. Because this did surprise me. Does it surprise you from your experience? If you think about the contact centers that you work in and you know, is a lot of the time of that call navigating around all of the different applications. Now, the next area, our advisors are inefficient. Shall we A, simplify their systems and processes, or B, introduce individual level KPIs, AHT, RAP, etc., and apportion blame to the advisors? I'd love to. I hope B is a very, very small minority. I really would. Within 2 years, this will change immeasurably. Only the laggards will see these types of stats. AI will transcribe what the advisors are saying directly into the desktop application. It is mind-blowing, some of the tech on show here. That's great. Wouldn't that be great? And let's hope it is within that timescale, Neris. Marianne, do you remember when we used to focus on wanting one front-end application, so the agent only had to use one application and everything hung off that front end? When did companies stop caring about that and put all their focus on digital as though it is an answer to everything? I think a rethink is in order. I agree, Marianne. Remember, Steve's here. If you haven't already, please do subscribe to Steve's newsletter. It's my go-to for all things regulatory and compliance, and he does it in a really engaging way. He makes compliance interesting and fun. So if you haven't already, connect with Steve, follow his newsletter. You'll be thanking me for doing it if you haven't already. So remember, I'd never ask my people to do something I wouldn't do myself. That claim must have died in most contact centers years ago. Yeah, it's very true. Let's see some of the people kind of navigate around all these systems whilst having a customer on the phone giving you a complex query. Scott, there's an interesting study by John Petty Research stating that workers that have a second additional display are up to 42% more productive, with a push for remote hybrid working. Important that HomeKit is equal to what employees would have in the office. Really true. I think now I couldn't work with just one screen. I wouldn't have thought that a few years ago. Really, really interesting there, Scott. Okay, moving on quickly. What proportion of customer callbacks are due to downstream failures? Interestingly, in part of the narrative around this, it's classed a downstream failure, and this was just educational for me. It classed a downstream failure as an agent either inputting something incorrectly, or like inputting incorrect data, or initiating the wrong process. Whereas I would have thought a downstream failure meant past the agent. So you can see 46% said that up to 25% of customer callbacks were due to downstream failures. And I think any of us in operations, callbacks was a continual challenge, right? A continual puzzle to solve always. Scott Williams, not just for productivity. Giving home workers different kit to office-based is a psychological driver in splitting a culture. Yeah, really true. And I just want to end, if I can, with, stay with me, everybody, because this is interesting. New agents find it difficult to familiarize themselves with our systems by contact center size. So 47% on average of new agents find it difficult to familiarize themselves with our systems. Stark stat. I found that. If we could focus on that, imagine how much easier and how much retention benefits would gain, retention improvements would get from people staying in the industry, because surely we've got Neris is seeing some cutting edge technology over in the States. It seems like there's far more focus on that technology being about making things easier for our team members. We have to do it. So a couple of takeaways for me from today is we need to have a session, and maybe it's one of the key parts of the campfire that's coming up that I should hopefully be able to share some more details with you next week, is what can we do to share our industry with 16, 17, 18-year-olds and portray it in a more accurate light, and that it can lead to great careers and be a career of choice. And then the other thing from Contact Babel, and just so you know, for those of you keeping a note of the page numbers, we're up to 160 now. So we're getting close to halfway. It's great, actually. And I'm hoping it's given you some stats to either validate or update your views on our industry. But I think those are the two takeaways from today. And thank you all so much for engaging with my work experience stars. I'm loving working with them. It's brilliant. And today we're doing some podcast work. Later on this week, we're going to be going to a contact center, and we'll be doing lots more. I'll keep you updated on LinkedIn, and I'm sure the girls will be making appearances on there. But thank you all very much for joining. It's not the same without your comments. For a horrible moment, I thought I was going to be talking to myself or just the girls for an hour, but I'm really glad you guys have joined. Special thanks to Neris for joining from the States at 5 a.m. I really, really appreciate it. And I hope you all have a lovely rest of the week. And I will see you all next Tuesday.